Hey guys, so I want to give a quick life update um, because I think it's been, other than the About Yourself video, which I recorded in like 2022, but scheduled it, I didn't release it immediately. I scheduled it to come out 3 years later, just because some of the details in that video, I don't know, it felt like it needed some time. But this is the first video I've posted in 2 years. So I feel like it needs you guys deserve a life update. So let's see. The last thing I posted was when I left Cognizant and had finished Revature before that. And I told you guys I got a new job. So the new job was with Matium. That's spelled Matium. It's a supply chain and materials trading company. It's a SaaS company. It makes software that allows other companies to buy and sell materials, mainly focused on plastics, but getting into paper next. So I joined that in 2022. It's a pretty early company. When I joined, we had about 3 or 4 employees, and now we have 18 or 19 people that work there, which is pretty crazy. What else? I moved to Nigeria. This is the first video I'm making in Nigeria. I had always wanted to move here, and becoming a software engineer has actually allowed me to work remotely and spend most of the year here. So I'm from Nigeria. I probably should have led with that. I'm from Nigeria. I left, moved to the US when I was a kid, but old enough to remember the place and remember that I like being here. So yeah, I don't know if that counts as a life update, but that is one thing. Another thing is that after my first year working remote, I lived in a way that wasn't really healthy. And since then I've tried to live in a way that helps me be healthier physically and mentally. For example, if you're working remotely, you're not really getting a lot of physical movement. You're also probably not getting a lot of social interaction. And these things add up, especially if you're being diligent. So like, I was probably sitting at a desk like 12 hours a day or something, and not really going out in the evenings or in the nights, not really staying, not living with my family, so staying for the most part by myself. So all these things kind of, and it's a startup, so you're working longer hour. You're not working crazy hours, where you're working a little bit longer than you would at like a corporate or big tech company. So at the end of the first year, those things kind of added up to where I started noticing some issues, and I had to fix those by making sure I'm getting more physical movement, more social interaction, and doing things like meditating and old man stuff I didn't do before. So, and just being more aware of how I'm feeling, making sure I'm not burning out, things like that. So that's probably something I should make a video about in the future, because I think it's pretty important, especially for software engineering. A big part of software engineering as a whole, you're kind of working with your own mind. You are the tool that is writing the code and that is interacting with your colleagues. So making sure that you're actually healthy and you're happy and you're not too stressed, you're not anxious, you're not depressed. All those things definitely show up in your code and in your work, which I don't think we really talk about. Like, the kind of mindset you're in definitely affects the kind of code that you write, the quality of the code that you write, not just the quantity. So yeah, so I think I've gotten a lot better about that, and I think I can share some of the things that I've learned there. I also started a master's program in computer science, which is kind of crazy, because I think it's crazy because if you go through Revature, it probably means that well, a lot of people in Revature didn't study computer science for their undergrad. For example, I studied business administration, even though I got an associate's in computer science, like after graduating, like later. So, but now I'm accepted to Georgia Tech's online master's in computer science program. I've done a master's before. I have a master's in business administration previously. So this is going to be my second master's, God willing. I started in October of 2024 of last year. It's not going crazy well, to be honest, because I've been struggling to maintain, like, to handle doing that and do work. Also, it's a lot more work than I thought. Like, for example, my first class was human computer interaction. I don't mean to bore you guys, but it was a lot of writing, which a lot more writing than I thought. Like maybe 8 pages, an 8 page writing assignment was due every weekend, which isn't crazy if you're full time, but it's a lot if you're part time, on top of like watching videos and things like that. So that was last semester. This semester, I'm taking data visualization and analytics. We're building a team project, which is healthcare related, which is pretty interesting. So we'll see how that goes. But that's something I also would like to make a video about, because I feel like it is a master's in computer science, but it's accessible even if you didn't do a bachelor's in computer science. So I know a lot of people in my video come from a non-computer science background. Some people do come from a computer science background as well. But if you are someone who's interested in being in a graduate program, I think this is a good one. It's also relatively cheap and it's online. So that's what I love about it. That's why I'm happy to be doing it. So that's all. I know I always say this and everyone always says this, but I'm gonna be making videos more frequently. So let me know if there's anything you want me to talk about or anything you want to hear about, anything you're curious about. Hope you guys are doing well. I know it's been a tough couple years in tech in terms of getting a job. So hope everyone is hanging in there and taking care of yourself. Yeah, no situation lasts forever. So it's just about making sure that you're continually learning and that mentally and emotionally and financially you're okay, so that when things do get better, you're still there and you're able to take advantage of the opportunities that are present. All right, talk to you later. Peace.